Welcome to Business is Good, the podcast all about what it means to be in business in the 21st century. Small and medium-sized businesses are the lifeblood of the UK economy, and globally they can and will have a huge impact on society, the economy and how we live our lives. From technology disruption to reworking a solution to solve the world's biggest problem, Business is Good is a podcast about what it takes to be successful and how every business defines that in different ways. Business is no longer just about being defined by what you do, but it's about giving back and redefining the problems and how we solve them in a way that works for you. I'm your host, Caroline Sumners, and I'll be giving you weekly inspirational stories from business owners who are building business and solving problems. This week on Business is Good, I'm talking to Heidi Strickland-Clark, who runs the Fasttrack Fitcamp based in Wokingham. It's an outdoor fitness business, obviously with the focus on improving fitness and health. Earlier this year, Heidi made the decision to make Fasttrack Fitcamp into a social enterprise and committed to distributing a minimum of 50% of her profits back into community environmental projects. So we talked all about what that means, how she's gone about that, and what her plans are for the future.
My name's Heidi Strickland-Clark, and I live in Wokingham, which is in the southeast of Berkshire, and I've been in business for 10 years running outdoor group fitness for adults. It started on the back of being a very tired and exhausted aerobics instructor, so literally sweating for a living, and getting to a point where I was doing about 25 classes a week to make a living. And you just think, how am I going to do this in my 40s and my 50s? I don't know if this is sustainable. And a friend and I at the time saw a workshop, a 3-hour workshop to do outdoor fitness where you were not physically having to do it. And so that was, of all times, in November in 2009. And so we set up an outdoor business in 2009 in the middle of the winter. We had 5 people who started with us. And it's gone on from there. And I still have one of those people with me from day one. So
that's amazing. You've still got them.
Yeah, it's amazing. So we're outdoor group fitness. And it started off for fat loss and weight loss. But actually what we have now is people who use us as their gym. They come to us because they want to feel better in their mind, feel better in their body. And they just want to feel like they're ticking the box that says, I've done something for my health.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Fun fact, I was born in Wokingham.
Where are you now?
Yeah, most people go, where is that?
It's the rose between Bracknell and Reading.
Yeah, most people go, I don't even know where that is. Do you mean Woking? No, I don't mean Woking. I mean Wokingham. Yeah, fun fact. Never been. Well, I've been there once or twice since. Anyway. Okay, good. All right. So, obviously, yeah, outdoor fitness business. So it's sort of fairly obvious, I guess, what problem you're solving. But is it more than people just wanting to be fit? Is there sort of other things that you see come out of it? Or
yes, absolutely. So as I said, when we started, it was all about lose a clothes size in 4 weeks, and that was the model. Come to us, lose a clothes size in 4 weeks. So it was very much about food and exercise, but it has evolved. And after about 3 years, I brought my business partner out, and what it's now evolved into is, it sounds cliche, but it's a community. And we are helping people who hate the gym. They don't want to go and push weight. They probably don't like, I haven't asked them this, but I think they would be doing it if they did. They probably don't like things like exercise to music because we don't have music. And they like being outside. So what we found is that we're helping people way more in the mental health side of things than we ever imagined, and for people who don't even realise they've got a mental health problem. So I did some research with my clients and asked them why they came to Fitcamp originally. 73% of them said for weight loss. And then I asked them what they'd got out of it that they weren't expecting, and 58% of them said improved mental health.
Wow.
So that was huge. That was for people who didn't really realise that was a problem, or if they did, it hadn't been their primary driver for coming to us. And we get that within the first few visits. Once you're outside, you know what it's like on Christmas Day. You've been stuck inside all day, go for a walk, and you come back and you feel great. Yeah. It's the same with Fit Camp. You don't have to put huge amounts of effort in and think that you need to make yourself feel sick just to feel better from exercise. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah. So, I find that when I'm just, if you're feeling a bit stressed or you're feeling a bit, overwhelmed with stuff, it's not even that I do outdoor fitness, but walking the dog every day. You have to go out, no matter what. You have to go out, come rain or shine. Yeah. And it makes such a difference to your whole sort of like mental sort of approach to the day, I think.
Oh, completely.
Otherwise, you'd just sit there, wouldn't you, doing nothing? Yeah. I would anyway.
No, I'm the same. And I get to the point now where if I don't go out, I get twitchy. I start to get a little bit niggly. And I have to go out every day. I have to.
And actually, that's true. If for any reason I've maybe it's a day when I've had to go to London or something, and Rufus, my dog's gone to doggy daycare, and I haven't had to walk him. I really miss it, and that's just from dog walking. So I can imagine that the outdoor fitness. I used to do CrossFit for a bit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I became mildly addicted to that. So I can imagine it's even more so when you're doing it outside. I'm talking myself into this, aren't I? I should be doing outdoor fitness. I'm quite clumsy though, so in the winter I worry that I'm gonna be the one person that's falling down the little hole in the grass and all of that. So
I don't use grass. One of the things I decided when I did this was that I wouldn't ask people to do things that I wouldn't do myself. Right. I'm not going to roll around in the mud. That is just not what I don't mind getting a bit grubby, but I don't want to be filthy caked in mud to get back in my car. Yeah. So that most of our stuff is done on hard standing or AstroTurf so that it's cleaner.
Oh, okay. That's better, actually.
And holds the cool down.
And there's more even surface. Yeah, I do worry about that because I know there's some classes near me that are very well attended. But I'm like, in the middle of winter when it's dark, I will be the person that does my ankle in again.
No, we don't do that.
Anyway, okay. So I think you sort of touched on it at the beginning, but what drove you to start up the outdoor fitness thing? Why, you went from aerobics but you went straight to...
Yeah. It was my colleague at the time who we became business partners from this. She had seen this workshop offered where you could start a business in the outdoor, and it had never crossed our minds. I mean, we'd never spoken about going into business together. I think we both got to a point where we just couldn't see how we could sustain an income and a career where we were just working out all the time. And it's when you're in leisure, you have to be on your happiest, nicest, smiliest, most motivating every time you're in front of a class. And I'd always said that the day I couldn't stand in front of a group of people and be happy was the day I needed to leave them. Yeah. And so I did physically teach fitness for 10 years. And then I decided to carry on with the business more. So it was self-preservation. And it was about staying in the industry because neither of us were then employable. We'd been in fitness for so long, we didn't know what we would do in the corporate world. Yeah. And so we wanted to stay in the industry without physically beating ourselves into a pulp.
Yeah. So you said 2009, I think you said you started.
Yeah.
So how has the business evolved in that time? What is it still as it was? I'm sure it's not.
No, the business model has changed. When we started, it was a program where you joined us for 4 weeks. So 4 weeks, lose a clothes size. And then we all had a week off. And then we sort of effectively resold the business again. And we did 4 weeks, lose a clothes size. But we found that many people were joining us every time for another 4-week bash. And that worked, but it did become a point where I was having to resell the business every 5th week. We needed to get people in. Yeah. And also my own desires to focus on weight loss changed. My book is about not weighing yourself. It's about making sure that you are happy in your body because you're happy and healthy. And so focusing on weight became less important to me. And so I changed the business so that it now runs all year round. And it's a membership scheme, so people pay monthly. And it's much more now about health and well-being. The other way it's changed is that it's just grown. We started off with 2 venues. We had a 9:30 in the morning slot and an evening slot. And now I've got 23 classes a week over 7 different locations. And
wow.
We have a mums and babies boot camp as well, and they're not outside, they're inside, but the mums can bring their babies, lay them on the floor next to them and just work out, so they don't have to worry about crash or anything like that. So yes, it has changed a lot.
Cool. And what's been the highlight, do you think, of running your own business?
I think running my own business, I always thought I was an employee, and I haven't always been self-employed, and the thought of running my own business was a bit of a challenge. So I do enjoy that, seeing what people get out of being active, seeing those people who really don't think that boot camp is for them coming along and going, oh my God, this is amazing. I like being outside and I like doing press-ups in the park. That is always a great boost. And really how I've let my intuition drive me into how I've evolved the business. So the transition this year to becoming a social enterprise, I just literally woke up with the idea. I hadn't gone looking to do something different. I woke up thinking, God, I really need to do something about my impact on the climate challenge. And this is what I'm going to do. So what? Tell us about that then. So what's happening with the social enterprise? I can tell you exactly when it was. It was on Good Friday this year. I went to bed having read a blog post from somebody, not in the environment arena, but who was concerned about environmental issues. And it made me think that I had no idea what I thought about it. I'd kind of kept it in my boundaries. I hadn't looked at it and I didn't know what my views were. But I did think, what am I going to do about it? Because this is now a crisis. Went to bed not thinking of anything else. Woke up at 4:00 in the morning thinking, oh my God, I know exactly what to do. And funnily enough, had to go out and walk it off. So I was outside processing this idea. And I decided that I'd change the business with immediate effect into a social enterprise. And the reason being is that as an individual, I didn't see how I could have as much impact as I can as a business owner. So my money on my own is not going to do as much good as if I use the money from the business. And we are in such a state that business needs to be done differently. We've got to think differently if we want to make a difference. And so I thought, I'm going to put my profits to local community projects. And so I have. What I'm doing now is changing how Fasttrack Fitcamp operates, and that a minimum of 50% of our profits will go to local community environmental projects or groups. And that has changed. What I'm going to focus on is 4 key areas. One is tree planting, and I'm in contact with the Woking Borough Council around how we can work with them to do tree planting. Rewilding, so flowers, and there's a great company in Dorset called Bee Bombs, and they supply British seeds for bringing bees and pollinators back. So we're selling those and giving those away and doing lots of stuff with Bee Bombs. We're doing community stuff. So we did our first community litter pick yesterday on one of the sites that we use. So we're using the venues that we use. We thought we'd do a litter pick, and we were staggered actually at how much we got in half an hour. It was quite amazing. And then also food waste. Did you know that food waste is the 3rd biggest provider of carbon emissions?
I didn't know that.
No. And given that one of my biggest drivers is around eating your health, you can really help your health with what you eat. And choosing local, choosing the best quality, I thought that I could really help people by showing them how to use every bit of food they buy rather than throwing it away. Because in Wokingham in April, we've got now the food recycling buckets for the recycling bins, which is great, and they're using it for power. But there's still people throwing food away that we don't need to throw away. And if we just know how we can use it better, it will save us money, it will save the environment, and it's a win-win.
That's amazing that you're doing that. I mean, I know that you'd said to me that you were turning it into a social enterprise, and I didn't really know much more than that. Yeah. So I think that's so good that you're linking not only the linkage around the food and looking after the spaces that you're in as well. Yeah, is so fabulous, because you're wanting to make sure that not only are you working out sort of keeping people healthy, but you're keeping the environment you're using healthy as well.
I've also got the opinion that if I do what I do best, which is helping people do healthy, then and they are then healthy, they can go and do what then floats their boat. So if I've got clients who've got charities in Kenya, I've got clients who support the Epilepsy Society. If they are healthy because of what I've done, they can go and do more for those people. So it's not about everybody supporting the environment. We all go and do our bit, and then you've got a much more excitable and healthy volunteer sector, I think, if you look after yourself first. The other thing I'm doing is I looked at how we as a business impact the environment. Because we're outside, we know we're pretty carbon neutral, apart from people getting there. But we do use a lot of training shoes, so a lot of trainers. And one of the things I'm now doing, I've got them outside my house, is two trainer recycling bins. So we're taking old shoes and we're sending them off to be recycled or repurposed. And we've sent two bin bags already of shoes. And I've got another 1.5 bags already being collected. Because most of the shoes we wear and get rid of have got loads of life left in them. Just because we don't want them anymore doesn't mean that they can't be used. And so they're being repurposed. And if they're really buggered, then they can be broken down and recycled.
That's amazing. So can anyone just drop them off for you?
Yeah.
You got them sitting outside your house?
Yeah. So I'm trying to get a proper, like a recycling bin placed in Wokingham. But finding someone who will take it is proving to be a little bit tricky. So at the moment, I've got two proper bins at my house that people can come and just dump their trainers in.
Oh, fantastic. So have you had any, what's been the feedback from your Fitcamp clients on this?
Oh, yeah. I think they're used to me coming up with wacky ideas. They go, oh, she's off again. But no, they've been great. They've been very supportive. And, well, having 2 bags of trainers is already proving to be a success. But no, they've been great. And they get that we need to make a difference, and so they are getting involved. And so I had people picking litter with me yesterday, and as I say, people dumping trainers off, and people buying bee bombs and chucking wildflower seeds over their garden, and people giving me contacts for the council for these trees and things. So no, it's been great.
That's really good. I just planted some lavender in my garden,
and
I can't believe, I knew that it was a bee magnet, if you like, but I can't quite believe how quickly the bees have arrived, because it's only been in a week and a half.
I love it.
And it's amazing. It's so good to see them. So I'm going to check the bee bombs out actually then, because I could get a few more flowers in my garden.
Oh yeah, that's great. And there's no plastic involved with them at all. They're a Dorset company, and it's very important with seeds, if you're going to do rewilding, that you use British seeds, because if we're bringing in international seeds, then there's a risk of disease and all that kind of thing. So bee bombs is all British seeds, and they're clean, and they're like little pellets, and you just chuck them on your garden. You don't need to plant them, you just chuck them and it's done.
So have you got so obviously there's been quite a few changes this year to your business. Just since April, I guess.
Yeah.
It was April. So obviously you've seen some changes already in how you're feeling about the business, I guess. But what's next? What have you got on the plan and the horizon? Because I'm pretty certain, Heidi, that you've got grand plans.
Oh God, you've worked that out already, have you? Yeah.
What's the ultimate goal, I guess? If in 5 years' time you could look back and say that was the turning point.
Oh, I want Fitcamp trees in Wokingham. Absolutely want Fitcamp trees in Wokingham. I want people, when people join Fitcamp, and this hasn't been announced yet, but by the time this goes out, it will have been.
Yeah.
When people join Fitcamp, I'm going to plant a tree in their name. So everyone who joins Fitcamp will get a tree. Isn't that going to be amazing? Can you imagine having your own tree?
I think it's fantastic.
I do. So if I had a little copse of Fitcamp trees, I'd feel complete. That and flowers, wildflowers. I'm going to be like a stealth bomber of seeds, and just chuck them randomly. And when I walk past them, I'm going to go, they're mine. I put those there. That's the kind of thing I want.
I was walking past our local Asda the other day.
Yeah.
and they had this bed, what was a flower bed, and they have put down, I'm so appalled, they have put down this very highly, can only imagine it's toxic, plasticky, looks a bit like bark, but isn't, it's plastic. And
I know the stuff you mean, yeah.
They've basically sealed the ground in. And I was talking to a friend of mine who was saying all they needed to do there was plant loads of wildflowers.
Yes.
And it's things like that as well, where small businesses like yours are going to hopefully start to impact on what those bigger businesses do. Because, I mean, there's no way they should have done that. No. And I'd love to walk past there every day and go, they're my flowers.
Yes, that's what that will be me. I will be that lady going, oh, do you know, they're mine.
Exactly. So
there's that going on. I mean, I have other plans for other areas, but in terms of the social enterprise, flowers and trees, and actually counting how many bags of trainers that we can repurpose. When you think of it, that's a hell of a lot of shoes that would otherwise be in landfill.
So where do they go? Where do the trainers go?
They either go abroad if they've really got some good value in. There's a company called United Shoe Recycling, and so they pick them up and they repurpose them. And I think that if they're really knackered, they recycle them. But not one pair yet I've had could not be used by somebody.
Yeah,
really. And somebody sent me a picture the other day of someone, not from what we've done, but someone receiving a pair of shoes in Botswana. She'd never had shoes in her life. This is an adult lady, and this was a pair of scummy old trainers that somebody here had probably just got rid of, but she was so happy with them. That's great. That's great.
So you're starting to get lots of highlights in your business, aren't you? God. Every time you receive one of those pictures, or you see the trees, or you see the flowers, you're literally your business year is going to be like one long highlight, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been linking with local food suppliers and food producers and asking them for their best recipes for me to use. I've got a blog called Waste Not Wednesday, and that's where my recipe is for the food waste. So every Wednesday I put a new recipe up about, if you've got this left over, you can do this with it. And I'm linking with food providers and producers too, as to, for some more ideas. So it's every week there's something that I can look forward to, because I can report about it. I do a weekly newsletter to my list, and I put on there what we've done, what's happening so far. So that's partly for my own benefit as well, because I want to see that what we're doing is making a difference, but also for them, because everybody gets involved in some way. Not everybody's getting involved in all of it, but they can see what we're doing, how many bee bombs we've sold, how many trainers we've got rid of, how many bags of rubbish we've collected. I mean, that's good stuff. And
do you think it's having a positive impact on your business as well?
I think it's too soon to say.
Yeah.
I think it's too soon to say. Although I decided to change it in April, I didn't announce it till June. So I wanted to find out what legal stuff I needed to do, and what changes I needed to make. So it's filtering through slowly, and it's one of those things that I think will evolve.
Exactly. So, okay. So you've been in business for 10 years. Well, more than that probably. But.
Well, I've been self-employed for over that, but this business will be 10 years old in November.
So what advice would you give to somebody starting a business, and maybe starting a business with another bigger meaning and purpose behind it?
Oh, I don't know, because I didn't have that when I started. So mine really has been an evolution. What I would say is actually, don't think you need to have that to get started. Because if you're waiting for that, you'll be waiting forever. I didn't go looking for this idea. It's come to me, and it's come to me 10 years down the line. And there's been times over the past 10 years when I could quite easily have given it all up. So I would say, don't wait actually to start your business. Just start.
Yeah. And
you'll never know everything.
And I'm a big believer that things kind of come to you when A, you need them, but B, at the right time.
Yes. Yeah.
Because, and also when you're starting a business, it's such a big thing to do, and becomes all consuming.
Yeah.
That maybe at the time you couldn't have done all of those extra things as well, because you were so busy trying to get clients and build the business that actually you've got to wait a little bit in order to do that.
Absolutely. And you don't know what you don't know. There's so much stuff I have to do now that I never even knew I was going to need to know to do. Social media, I didn't have a Facebook account until I had the business. So, and now my clients would say, really, you're on Facebook all the time? But it's become such a big part of what I do because that's where a lot of my clients are.
Yeah.
It has become part of my world. But there's so much stuff you don't know. And there's so much stuff I still don't know what I don't know. So it's always changing. And that's one thing I would say to people is you're never done. You never don't ever get to a point in your business where you think, I've nailed it. I've got the clients coming in steady. It never is. Something will come along and take you sideways and you'll go, oh God, I've got to start again. You're always on it. Okay. So are there any resources or people or, I don't know, books or anything that you've read or met or done that have really helped you on your journey, do you think? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm a big reader. So I came across Daniel Priestley's KPI many years before I signed up and did his course, but sowing the seed about how you can influence people in many different areas was very important. And I was blogging long before I published my book, and I think that really helped. I really do like writing, so that's been an easy platform for me to do. And his book KPI was great for that. Another book that changed my business life is a book by an American called Mike Michalowicz, and he wrote a book called Profit First.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
honestly, it changed my business life, and I would highly recommend that. That would be one thing I would say to anybody starting out in business. Don't wait to get that in place. Just start it from day one, because it changes how you view your money and how you're doing. If I only was going to recommend one book for business, it would be Mike's.
Okay, that's a strong recommendation. Yeah. I've spoken to a couple of people recently and they've all recommended that as well, so I think I better get that one.
It's a great book, and he's funny, and his other books are great too, and The Pumpkin Plan is also equally good. But Profit First, for me, was life-changing.
And why was it so life-changing?
I describe it as head-slappingly simple. You go, why the hell didn't I work this out for myself? But you haven't, and now you know, and you can just do it. You don't have to think. You can just switch it on straight away and start seeing the rewards immediately. Having written the book, it's very clever how easy he makes it for you.
Okay.
How easy he makes it for you to do it.
All right. Well, there you go. Top tip from Heidi. Yeah. Read and implement. Profit First.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you wish you'd known at the start that you know now?
No, because I'd never have done it.
No. You'd still be the aerobics instructor, or you would somehow...
I'd have gone back to corporate.
Yeah.
When I look back at what I've done, I mean, I'm really pleased with it and proud of it, but it's been hard work. It's been a slog, and I'm in the leisure industry, so it's weekends, it's evenings, it's early mornings. And I think if I'd looked at all that ahead of me, I'd have gone, no way am I doing that. But I bloody love it. I really do.
Well, that's kind of like, we can't really ask any more than that, can you?
No, not really.
So any plans to do anything else other than, obviously all the stuff you're doing with the social enterprise, or is that enough for now?
No, I've got another great big project that I want to work on, which is once again to do with my local community. We have Wokingham, as you may well be aware if you remember, is an affluent area. It frequently gets mentioned as being one of the top places to live in the UK. We have a lot of gyms. We have a lot of there's a lot of wealth here. We know we're in commuter belts, so people can go to London. But what we do see a lot of is trouble with people accessing GP services, and a lot of the time it's because they're the worried well. They are the people who are kind of Googling problems and then going in because they think they've got something wrong with them. When a lot of the time, and this is not meant to be stereotypical anyway, but a lot of the time, lifestyle changes would make a difference. So if they did exercise a bit more, they did get to a bit more sleep, they did drink more water, they did eat better, these problems wouldn't be there, and it would ease the congestion in the local surgeries. So I have a project whereby I want to bring together anybody who's in my industry in the area, so fitness instructors and personal trainers, because we have a wealth of information that is not being resourced by as many people as we could do, by GPs and then the local community. So what I want to be able to do is to provide this platform that GPs can say to their patients, what you need to go and speak to these people at this hub. Go and speak to these people and they will help you just to establish a better lifestyle and try and reduce waiting times, reduce prescription levels and or dosages, so we get a healthier community. And that is kind of where I'm at. I've got a platform that I can deliver it from. I've got contacts for the fitness instructors. My current issue, and it's there, but it's just slow, is getting the GPs on board. So I've got that in hand. I think they're up for it. I just need to get in front of them.
Well, that sounds, that sounds like a challenge that like every doctor's surgery or area's got, I guess. So I think that if you can get that working well, that's probably a model that you can, anywhere in the country it would work well for. Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not saying that people aren't ill. There are some people who are ill and need the GPs, but there are a lot of people who just with a little bit of information, because I see it these people come through our business. Yeah. And they go, oh God, I felt like crap and now I feel much better.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Okay. I don't think I've got any other questions. It sounds so good. I can't believe that you've done all that with the social enterprise. It's fascinating that you've managed to sort of, you woke up and then you was like, right, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, it was like I channeled it.
You manifest it.
I think I must have done, because honestly, I did not go asking for this.
Isn't that funny though? Because and that's what I mean, that probably if you try and have something with a bigger purpose at the outset, maybe you're right. You don't make a success of either thing, so you've got to wait until the time is right.
Yeah, and then it comes to you.
You must be super busy though.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
But you seem to be sort of thriving on it, I think.
I love it. I do love it. When I meet people at networking events, they say, oh, you're always so busy. I don't feel busy. I've got a lot going on.
Because you love it.
I do. There is a lot going on. There's a lot of balls I'm juggling, but it serves me in many different ways.
And do you still take all the classes, or do you have people that do them now?
No, I've got 5 part-time instructors who help me with that. I do some of them, and we don't physically do it. We are coaching and timing.
Right. Yeah.
So we're not. It's not putting any toll on our bodies. But I do some, and then I've got others who help me as well, and then I do the back office stuff as well. I've got a lady who supports me in the office as well.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, cool. All right, well, thank you. I'm going to look with interest on your social media and
great,
what's happening.
Okay.
Brilliant. All right. Thanks, Heidi.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
See you. Bye.
Well, how good was that talk with Heidi? I mean, I think what it shows is no matter the size of your business, whether it's one person or whether it's 1,000 people, there's something that we can all do to give back to the community. And I think the examples that Heidi's shown us in terms of the wildflowers, I just love that idea. So much so, and I think you heard that I really want to look into that with my local council and see about how we can also do that here in Portsmouth. So that's it for this week from Business is Good. Thanks for tuning in and see you soon.